What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Jamming with J Money, man. We're trying to get to some money today. I know I am, man. Hey, trying to get to some parlay monies and straight up money, all that, man. Well, we got a lot to talk about today, man. So we're gonna go ahead and recap yesterday. I know it was couple games. We were talking back real quick. I know how the hell the Rockets lost that game. Whenever we talked about the Cavs, how in the hell they was 3 point dollars there. Detroit blew the shit out them boys by 33 points. I know I was talking about the Wizards, but I'm glad I stayed off of it. Once we saw Thomas Bryant was out, and Wagner both out as well, I posted on my Twitter. I was like, I don't know who the hell gonna play center tonight. Had to hop on the Magic in this spot. They got it done there. The Heat won that game outright as well versus the Raptors. I'm glad that it went into overtime. That I knew it was gonna be a tough spot for the Heat tonight, so it'd be pretty interesting to see the Mavs whooped up on the Pelicans. The Rockets. I don't know how the hell the refs missed that call. I mean, it went through the damn net, and it don't matter what happened after that. It's still a bucket, but I don't know how the hell they missed it. I don't know if the refs getting paid or what, or if I need to be a ref, I can see this shit from the house. The Lakers end up beating the Nuggets in that spot. That one end up going under. Nuggets couldn't get it done. The Clippers end up blowing them out by 20. Junior, I'll let you go first, man, on what happened in that Rockets game.
What happened was the Houston Clown Show was on the road in San Antonio. And I say clown show because if you're I'm just gonna, you guys already just heard me say this like not even 60 seconds ago, but I'm gonna repeat it for the listeners. If you're Mike D'Antoni and you see that San Antonio's clearly making a run, they're cutting down the lead, the momentum is completely against you. You're not gonna call a play, bro. You don't have one set play where you could just be like, you know what, let's get a bucket. Nah, we're going to have James Harden dribble out the clock and take a step back three while we're up three. Like, come on, bro. Russell Westbrook took 30 shots to score 19 points. If you think that the Houston Rockets are a contender, you're blind as hell because that game yesterday could only happen because their two best players' basketball IQ is trash as far as I'm concerned. Mike D'Antoni, come on, bro. What the you know what, man? Jordan, what do you got to say about yesterday, bro? Let me relax. Yeah, and I'll tell you, one of the reasons I'm bitter, I'm 8-1 in my money line parlays right now.
I mean, I pretty
and
much
San
asked the question
Antonio
of
busted
how
that
many of these
shit.
plays
I
do you
hate
think that
San Antonio, bro.
how many plays do you think that Russell Westbrook and James Harden just ignore from the bench? And Junior said 60%. I believe that's probably a pretty accurate statement. I want to also, though, it's not just the Rockets collapsing. Lonnie Walker had the fourth quarter and overtime of dreams. That kid has a future ahead of him, so I don't think we can discount what he did yesterday. But man, that was a crazy game. I was on the two craziest games of the day, Miami Toronto, and then that one. And then ended up going 1-1 on my first quarter and first half plays on the Houston game. Ended up losing Toronto on the first half yesterday. So overall a down day. But yeah, I don't know how we picked the two worst games to bet as the ones that were our best plays of the game. Because yesterday I think was the story for me of like just the plays I laid off of that I should have bet. You know, we were talking about Dallas, New Orleans. Should have bet the Pelicans in the first quarter, Mavs first half full game. That ended up all three cashing. So yeah, I think yesterday was not only a story of that game, but I think for me personally, it was like plays I didn't take versus the ones that I did, and it should have been flip flop for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Yesterday was definitely a tricky spot. Still, though, I didn't see how the hell the Spurs. I mean, they outscored them in the fourth quarter, 34-18, to make it go to overtime. That was pretty crazy. I mean, I thought the Rockets had that one in hand, but that was just crazy, bro. How that shit ended. We ended up going to two overtimes. Then the Spurs ended up winning outright. I'm hearing that the Rockets are gonna try to get the game overruled or some shit, which I can't say they shouldn't have. I mean, it shouldn't have been that close. Shouldn't have won the overtime if the basket would have counted. Obviously, that's a 2 point difference there, but that's pretty crazy where this shit went. I can't believe that the league let that shit happen. To be honest with you, but it is what it is, man. That's yesterday. I'm hearing that one book did refund people for Rockets money, but the rest of the book said nope, no way, Jose. The game's already over. So we don't know if Rockets gonna get the win in that spot, but it is what it is, man. It was yesterday. Let's get into today, man. I already went on Jimmy's show, broke down all these games, but we'll try to run through at least a little bit on all of them. I did mention that D'Angelo Russell's coming back tonight for the Warriors, and he is listed as probable in this spot. I know Jimmy's like in Jimmy. and Teddy liking the Hornets early in this spot in first quarter and first half. I know the Hornets saying that they got to come out hot here. Me personally, I don't like putting my money on bad teams. I think it's two bad teams, but Russell is coming back for the Warriors here. It'll be interesting to see. They didn't play too bad versus the Magic. We know the last game without Green and everybody, they got their ass killed versus the Hawks, but this is a bit of a different spot here. I actually would be leaning towards the Warriors plus the points in this spot. I think that this is a winnable game for them. And it's a revenge spot as well. They lost 93-87 at home to the Hornets as well. So any looks on this game, Jordan?
It's Warriors or nothing in this one for me. I have to lean that way, I think, right now, simply because of the fact that Charlotte, if they do hit, we talk about this all the time, I think if they're hitting their three-pointers, they're very easily going to win in this one. But if Golden State can somehow match that or prevent them from hitting the long ball, I think they do have a very good chance of covering this game. Russell being back is huge for them, not only to reinsert him in the starting lineup, but it gives them a ton more depth because some of these guys like Kai Bowman, Jordan Poole, Alec Burks especially, have been playing really well without him. Now they just get a chance to move them down the depth chart a little bit and go against the Hornets bench, which actually is not that deep. And if I had to now, I mean, you kind of look at these two rosters, and sometimes it's as simple as that. Like Junior says, sometimes like this Warriors team is a better roster right now. They do not have the benefit of playing at home, obviously, but with Russell back, if he's hitting shots and comes back pretty fluently and doesn't have a whole lot of rust, I mean, you're definitely looking at a position for them to win here. Might end up jumping on the money line here. I think I saw it at like plus 120, plus 125. If you're getting that odds, it might be worth a small play right now and with a little bit on the points as well. But it's definitely steam in that direction, so feel pretty solid about it. Just haven't locked anything in yet.
What you thinking in this game, Junior?
I don't have anything on the sides. I'm actually looking at the total. It's not an official play, but I'm thinking the 12.5. I wish I would have gotten it when it opened at 209. That's making me a little bit hesitant, but I don't really have a feel for the sides. Just two crappy teams. I'm kind of done with the investing in two crappy teams. So the look towards the total might be worth it. These are two teams that play absolutely no defense. I don't see any reason why they can't score over 212 points in this spot.
Yeah, you're right. And Russell coming back, it was one that I was actually leaning like in the under. At first, I know the under is 5-0 last 5 meetings, and like I said, that last game between them did only get to 180 points. But I do think this is different with Russell coming back. He definitely adds a lot more offense, and when the ball is in his hands, he likes to push the pace a lot. So I really do think that the Warriors will look a whole lot different with him at the point guard. I mean, obviously with them when he went down, the Warriors were easy fade. A lot of people were saying whether Draymond Green is in the lineup or not. I think Russell is a lot bigger deal to him, a lot more offense, obviously shooting threes, getting to the basket, getting to the foul line, all of those. So it should be definitely more points here for the Warriors. And I'm with Jordan here, man. If I was to look at it, I would look at the Warriors on the money line, man. I know the Hornets have played in tough and close games, but I mean, they're really only people they beat here lately were the Pistons in the back-to-back. I mean, they just had a Pistons number. Other than that, the Hornets aren't going to beat many teams. I mean, they starting to look like the fade team that we know that they are deep down. Like I said, they are at the house, but I just don't think that. I don't know. I understand with Jimmy and them taking them early here, but I'm staying off of it, man. It's Warriors enough for me, and they definitely getting the spark back with Russell there. Say something quick about this Bulls and Detroit spot. I don't have a whole lot on it. Pistons been playing better late. I don't like they're on the back-to-back spot. Nobody really played over 30 minutes last night. They got to rest a bunch of their guys. This third game in 4 nights. They are number 1 in rebounds the last 5 games and number 2 in offensive rate and number 8 in defense. So the Pistons have actually been playing a lot better as of late. And we know that the Bucks have won 12 straight. They only 5-7 ATS over those 12, and they do have the Clippers on deck. But they are 9-0 straight up in ATS last 9 meetings versus Detroit. I'll be looking towards the Bucks here. That's the only way I could play it. Any thought? Did you have a play on this game, Jordan?
Yeah, I do actually. At first, I was leaning towards the Bucks first half, but I think the better play may be the first half on the over. It's already been going up just a little bit here, and I think it's a pretty good line actually. It's less than half of what the full game total is. I think it's sitting at about 109, 109 and a half right now, if I'm not mistaken. The Bucks play at like the 4th or 5th fastest first half pace of any team in the league, with Detroit playing their third and fourth nights. Obviously, they didn't expend a whole lot of energy last night, but I think that's still going to play a factor here earlier in the ball game. And not only that, Detroit has actually been very good offensively at home, especially in the first half of games. They have been very bad defensively, though, in those same exact spots. It's just kind of a system play for me at this point. I see a number. I could probably put it at least 2 points higher than what it is right now, so I'm going to make a small play on the over here in the first half. If the Bucks end up dictating pace of this game, which I think they will, considering Detroit's coming off a back-to-back, so they're going to want to grab this game early and try to force Detroit to get in an up-and-down matchup with them. And if that's the case, I really can't see Milwaukee getting under 60 points here in this first half. I mean, Detroit's defense is capable of playing well, but we just haven't seen it all season. They've been pretty poor in most of these spots. Now playing their third and fourth nights and off the back-to-back, I don't think their defense is going to come out and play at all where its peak is. So I'm going to go with the over here. Hope that it's an up and down first half.
What you liking in this game, Junior?
I got Bucks first half, full game first half -4, full game -7.5. The Bucks first half is one of the things that's been cashing for me a lot since the season started. They're a great first half team. Detroit coming into this situation off of a back-to-back. They've played a lot of games in the last couple of days. I think this is like their fourth game in the last 6 days, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas Milwaukee's had the day off after winning by like 40-something. One of the key matchups that I look at, Giannis, in my opinion, whenever he goes up against someone that's considered even just a star, he usually tends to bring his A game. I think Blake Griffin versus Giannis is a massive mismatch in Giannis's favor. I think that Milwaukee right now, the way that they're rolling, first of all, they're winning. They're just outright winning games by almost 13 points a game. I think that Detroit's last two blowouts are a bit fraudulent. They blew out two of the bottom three defensive teams in the league. Good for you. You're not going to do that to Milwaukee. Now, can Detroit keep it close? Of course, because they're at home. They got a lot of momentum. I'm just really a big believer in what the Bucks are doing. I think they're getting their full squad back, their healthy squad back, and they're making a little bit of a push to try and distance themselves and hold. And yeah, I know it's still early in the season, but they realize that the road to the NBA Finals has to go through Milwaukee being a number one seed throughout the playoffs. So this is a wave that last year when I saw Milwaukee blowing teams out, I wasn't really sure if it's real. Now we're a quarter into the Coach Budenholzer's second season. They lost Brogdon, and they really haven't missed a beat. I'm really impressed by them. They're getting contributions from literally every single guy in their rotation right now. Just yesterday I was saying that the Pistons are very inconsistent since Blake came back. Blowing out the Cavs is not going to convince me that they're not inconsistent. So I just like the Bucks in this spot here.
Yeah, I can only look towards the Bucks as well, man. I'm not stepping in front of that train right now, but I don't have an official play on this game. Let's get into the Suns versus the Magic, man. This is a game where I like, man. I'm thinking we're gonna see some defense in this spot. The Magic have been playing a lot better lately. Like I said, I did have to hop on them yesterday versus Wizards with no big men. It was an up and down game. We know that the Wizards don't really like to play defense. The Magic do, on the other hand, and like I say, they've been better here lately. They are 0-4 ATS in their last four home games. They are 3-0-1 ATS their last four on a back-to-back, so that's not really a big thing there. You look at the Suns, Baines is out once again. Rubio is probable in this spot, so he's going to be back in there. They are 6-0 ATS last six in Orlando, and they do have the Pelicans on deck. This is one where I stayed away from the side. I can see the reason why the Suns are the favorite here. They didn't play well versus the Hornets though. So I think they should have crushed them. There's pretty two even teams right now. We know the Suns had a really hot start, not playing as well lately. I just think we're gonna see some defense in this spot. One of the top 10 defense in the league on a back-to-back spot here with the Magic. I don't think they'll really want to get up and run up and down the court. And I know Baines is out, but Suns do run kind of really small ball, but I'm just thinking it's too many points. This is a high total for a Magic spot with them being at the house. We know their defense travels. Like I said, coming off of back-to-back, they are at the house, so they play much better defense. I got to take the under this spot. Open at 217, it's down to 214 now. I still like the under here. Any thoughts on this game, Jordan?
I don't have really a lean on this game, though. I'd be a little weary of the Suns' defense without Baines. They obviously held the Hornets down their last game, but that is the Hornets. If you look at some of their games before that, even with Baines playing in some of those, their defense has not been what it was early in the season. That'd be the only thing I'd be concerned about in that area. That being said, though, I mean, I definitely would probably lean towards Phoenix in this spot if I had to make a play. The Magic coming off a back-to-back 3rd and 4 nights, they're one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league. If they're not hitting their shots, obviously it's at home, which helps a little bit. But Phoenix is definitely a team that can get out and score some points here with their guards healthy. I mean, Devin Booker is a candidate to go for 40 every night. So it's going to be very tough, I think, for Orlando to stay in this game unless they're hitting shots. That remains to be seen how they're going to be able to do that still without their best player, Nikola Vucevic. So it's probably a game I'm just staying away from entirely. Just a lot of question marks. I can't really trust either team at this point. Even though if I did have, have to make a play, I'd probably just lean towards Phoenix just simply because I think Orlando's tired and their offense may look flat out bad tonight if Phoenix brings any semblance of defense.
So if you think the offense is going to look bad, it means you lean into the under then, right?
Yeah, but I think that to be able to stop guys like Aaron Gordon and Fournier tonight. I don't see that happening. I think on an individual basis, there's some guys that the Magic have that could get out to 18, 20 points tonight. If that's the case, there's just a lot of unknown. I don't like betting into cases where I'm sitting here going, well, I could see this, I could also see that type of thing. It's just there's no point. That was kind of the point I was trying to make.
What you think in this game, Junior?
I don't have an official play on this game, but I'm actually looking the other way. If I did, I would actually be leaning towards the Magic. I know they're coming off a back-to-back, but Phoenix's last 5 games, their offensive rating is 115. Last 10 games, it's like 113, which, if we're talking a full game season, that's bottom of the league territory right there. So the hot start that they had was largely in part due to their defense. If they're going to be without Baines, like, listen, the one thing about Orlando, and again, I'm not trying to say what Jordan's saying is wrong, because at the end of the day, this Orlando offense could just not show up on any given night. But Ricky Rubio's questionable. Aaron Baines is out. This Phoenix team is not that deep. And I think that if you look at Orlando, if there's one thing that Orlando does have, it's a bunch of bodies. Like, they got a lot of tall, lanky, rangy defenders that could cause Phoenix some problems. I don't like the way Phoenix is looking right now, and I think that as much as Orlando's offense could pull a no-show, which for them is basically every other game, considering they're the second worst scoring team in the NBA, their defense will show, and I feel like it's possible that especially at home, they could give this Phoenix offense a whole bunch of problems, whereas Orlando has a little bit of momentum. I don't want to go too far because it's one game where they scored like 120 points, and every game this season where they look like they're just about to get it rolling offensively, they regress right back to the mean. The other day at Cleveland, they scored 116, then they scored 83. They scored 125 against Washington, then the next game they scored 97. So there's just no consistency there. But one thing that has been consistent is Phoenix's lack of defense for the last like 2 or 3 weeks. So it would either be Magic money line plus 115 or nothing for me.
Yeah, if I had to take a side, I would be taking the Magic too. Don't want to spend too much time on this game, but I'm on the under in this spot. Under is never a bad look in the Magic spot. And if it's a team on the other side and I'm worried about their defense, the Magic is one team where I'm not really worried about because their offense can be so inconsistent. They can make a bad defense look good. And in regards to that, I just think the Magic gonna slow the tempo down tonight on the back-to-back and will make this an ugly type of game, which we've seen them do plenty of times. So I'm on the under in this spot. I think it's a tad too many points. Let's get into this Nets and Hawks game. You got the Nets laying 3 points here, man, going up to 3.5. I know the Hawks had stopped a 10-game skid before the last game, before they beat up on the Warriors. That was in a bad spot. Not necessarily the case here. The Hawks are not looking good right now whatsoever. They don't have Hunter. Herter is going to come back here. He's going to be limited to 15 to 20 minutes. They're 27th in offensive efficiency the last 5 games. I just like the way the Nets have been playing here better lately. They're off a loss. They're 6-1, ATS last 7 off of a straight up loss. 8-2 ATS last 10 in the last 10 meetings between these two teams, and 4-1 ATS last 5 in Atlanta. I can only take the Nets here, man. I'm on the Nets here, minus the 3 today, and the Hawks are just a fade team right now. I know they're at the house; it is working well for them, but the Nets have been playing some really good ball against worse teams lately. They are coming off a loss, so I don't see them looking ahead, looking past this Hawks team. I think they come in here and get the win tonight, man. What you liking, Junior?
I agree with you. If you look at Brooklyn's last like 6 or 7 games, the only teams that they lost to were Boston and Miami, and they really just pissed away that Miami game. They let the Heat go on a 10-0 run to close out that game. Another thing is that Spencer Dinwiddie is absolutely cooking. Trae Young plays no defense whatsoever. If you don't think that Spencer Dinwiddie is going to come out here looking to light Trae Young up for a good 30, I swear I'm looking at the Spencer Dinwiddie prop. I'm trying to find it as we speak. I can't find it right now. Whatever the Spencer Dinwiddie prop is, I'm all over that on the over. I just think that Brooklyn has something going right now. You remember their coach right before Kyrie got hurt, he was saying we're kind of losing our identity. They literally, after he said that, they went on this run. So, Coach Atkinson is one of the most serious, no-nonsense coaches in the NBA, and I think that he's looking at this spot like, bro, we're on the road to Atlanta, then we're on the road to Charlotte. We got to go home to Denver, which is going to be one of the tougher games that they face, and then they play the Raptors and the Sixers. They got to take care of business here. But I'm not on this game. But if I was, it would be Brooklyn or nothing.
Yeah, they got to win the next 2 games. You can't lose to the Hawks and the Hornets, man. You just can't. You just can't right now. And they look good right now without Kyrie, man. He's gonna be out the next 2 games. Let's see if they can go 2-0 in this little road trip here. Any quick thoughts on this game, Jordan?
Yeah, I'll be quick because this is one that I wrote up for the website. So go to sportsbookreview.com to check out my pick on this game. But I'll do a brief summary here real quick. I'm going on the over in the first half of this one as well. This is one of those instances where I went in like you guys did, looking at the Nets and kind of found something I liked a little bit better in the first half over, just for several reasons. Mainly just because the Hawks are falling apart defensively and have been ever since John Collins went out. Basically, now they're going to be without DeAndre Hunter as well tonight. A really good rookie. Profiles is very good on both ends of the court right now. He's been shooting about 36% from 3, so that hurts the offense a little bit. But like you guys said, I can't see Brooklyn, a couple of those guys just absolutely dominating their matchups tonight. And with the way the Hawks defense have played, they're giving up like 113 points per 100 possessions in the first half. It ranks 25th in the league. You look at, if Trae Young is getting his, that helps obviously a lot, but I don't see the Nets getting below like 58. It's almost 60 points in this first half. I think, like you guys said, there's motivation there to come out and blow them out in the first half and maybe get some rest and head back on the road to Charlotte and hopefully get another blowout win here too before they head back home. So I'm liking the first half over. Got it at 109.5. It's already steamed up to 110, 111 at some shops, so I'm pretty happy with where I got it at. But yeah, that's easily, I think, one of my best plays of the day is first half over in this one.
Right, let's get it then. Let's get it, man. Yeah, I don't see the Nets losing this game, and I don't even see the Hawks being able to keep it close, man. So I'm liking the Nets in this spot, man. Surprised it opened at 1. Like I say, got steamed to 3 in no time. Let's get into this next game, the Heat versus Celtics. A really exciting game. No Marcus Smart in this spot for the Celtics. I hate the fact that it's a terrible spot for Miami. They had a huge game last night. It's real tough to give it your all and throw the whole book at a team, and you get up for another team the next night. It's real tough to do that as a basketball player. They gave it their all last night, man. Went into overtime, held the Raptors to 2 points in overtime, went and put 121 points on them. So that was a real nice win that they got yesterday in Toronto. Obviously, it's tough to travel there, come from there. You got to go through customs, all that. Probably got into Boston pretty late. I just think it's a tough spot for Miami here versus a rested Celtics team, but not necessarily good. They are 0-6-1 ATS last 7 games on 2 days rest, but in this particular spot, I like the fact that they've had the rest advantage here. That they hadn't really been playing too well lately. And I just think that it's a good spot for them. This is going to be an Eastern Conference, obviously high intensive matchup. I think we see plenty of defense here. I like the under in this spot, and I still like the Celtics even without Smart being out. You still got Dragic out as well for the Heat. I know they overachieved last night. Got a huge win, but it's a terrible spot for them back-to-back. Third game in 4 nights on the road, man. Give me the Celtics here and give me the under in this spot. What you liking, Junior?
I'm glad you mentioned the Celtics record on 2 days rest because I'm pretty sure that I've lost whatever Celtics plays that I've made. I've taken them because that they had 2 days rest and lost every time. That being said, I think for me the reason why I'm on the Heat plus, well, first of all, everybody that watches the show knows I'm all over the Heat. Yesterday I didn't want to take the Raptors. The only reason I didn't take the Heat plus the points is because of Dragic being ruled out. I really believe in what they do. And even though it's a tough spot, and you're right, they got to go through customs and all of that, but Boston's only like a 90-minute flight from Toronto. It's really not that serious. I just think that Marcus Smart is the difference maker for me. It's one thing to be down Hayward. It's a whole nother ball game for that rotation to be down Marcus Smart too. Now you got to start throwing in Carson Edwards into the mix and all these guys that don't really what's the other guy? Rudamaker or whatever that Wanamaker, whatever his name is.
Carson Edwards ain't a pushover though, Junior.
They ain't got none.
Carson Edwards ain't a pushover though, bro.
No. I don't want to disrespect Carson Edwards because he's a really good offensive player. That's for sure. No doubt about that. But Marcus Smart is the glue guy on that Boston team. He'll guard the best offensive player, even if he was guarding Kristaps Porzingis in the post. Like he's just the guy that he's the jack of all trades. He can get a bucket, shoots a bit too much for my liking, but he can get a bucket, he can get a stop, he makes hustle plays. Without him, I think Boston still wins the game, but Boston does not cover spreads right now, and I'm just going to keep riding that wave that they're just not covering, and Miami is, and I just like the way that Miami plays. I'm really biased towards Miami, though. I'm going to admit that. So it's just part of this is my personal bias towards Miami, and just seeing that Boston's not been covering lately.
It's a tough spot for him, bro. I'm not saying they're not gonna cover. It's the guaranteed lock or something, but it is a tough fucking spot for the Heat, who still don't have Dragic. If they had a full team and then the Celtics missing Smart, then I'll you know what I'm saying, understand. But still no Dragic. That's a huge deal. Like I say, they overachieved last night. I don't know if Larry come back in there and mess it up. I don't think so. He didn't play bad or as far as the assist rate. I know he didn't really shoot well, but he's gonna be rusty. It's a tough spot, especially when they went to overtime. I'm just licking my chops, Junior. I'm sorry, bro. This is a tough fucking back-to-back for them boys, bro, in Boston. No, Smart's going to hurt the defense, but offense, I don't think we're missing much, man. I don't think we're missing much. What you thinking, Jordan?
Man, I wish I could break the tie for you guys, but I can't. This is a complete stay-away spot for me. I was going in leaning towards the under, but then I missed out on it, all that steam, and then it's down to like 209 from 213, so I can't touch it there. And then the sides, in my opinion, Miami is the markedly better team than Boston. I'm not a big fan of Boston. Miami's been growing on me very quickly ever since the season started. And Boston is just soft in the middle, and 6 points right now is just way too much for them. That being said, you cannot trust Miami here, in my opinion, just coming off that tough game last night. It's one thing, I think, for if this, was played, both teams would be on, 1 day's rest or whatever and playing each other. The spread would be a lot lower, obviously, but I'd be a lot more excited about taking Miami than in comparative to what the situation is right now with Boston being rested and Miami being tired. So it's just a stay away spot for me. If I had to make a play, though, I think 6 is too much right now. I think Miami, like Junior said, is just kind of at a different level right now. Eric Spoelstra continues to prove, how good of a coach he is. It's just a complete stay away spot for me. Big card, no reason to take a risk on either side of this, I think.
Yeah, but I can understand it. We're getting to that point now at the NBA, man, where it's starting to get further along in the schedule. These back-to-backs are going to start meeting a little bit more. We got about 12 minutes left, man. I want to try to get through the rest of these games. Really only one more that I want to talk about. I guess we'll run through the Bulls and Memphis spot, but man, I'm telling you, there's just no – I know the Heat are a good team, and they are getting points here. But, they're not at full squad as well. There's no way in hell I could take the Heat here, man. It's Celtics, or I would just suggest to stay off this shit, man. I really
but
still
Jay,
like the
I'm
underdog.
super biased when it comes to the Heat.
I think that's Smart. We need him in here, but, I still like the under. I know that the Heat their defense is going to travel. I think they're going to slow down the pace of this game. I still like the Celtics. Their defense, they're going to bring the defense. They're 8-1 ATS versus a team with the winning record. When they play good teams, they always bring it to play. Their under is 13-3 versus a team above 600 record. The Heat, they're running a 9-man rotation right now. Some of the players played 30, 35 minutes, 40 minutes last night, man. Still no Dragic as well off the bench. It's going to hurt in this type of game. Just to close that up on Junior before we get to the next game.
No, I was just gonna say I'm just really biased towards the Heat, bro, and I'm admitting that to anyone watching this. I'm capping it like I'm supposed to, but I just feel like the Heat come to play every game, and after getting smacked by Houston and smacked by Philadelphia on the road, they're gonna bring in a lot more intensity in these road games and keep them close.
Yeah, I can see that. The Celtics, they 7-0 at the house is where they play. That's where they play the best. The Heat 7-5 on the road. So they're 8-0 at the house. I mean, they play a whole lot better. Like I said, like Jordan said, key thing he said, if it wasn't the back-to-back spot for the Heat, I could definitely see that. I think that they can beat the Celtics even on their home floor. This spot after the game that they just had last night, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. The Bulls. I want to talk about the Bulls and Memphis game real quick. I don't want to lay 6 with the Bulls. Obviously, the Grizzlies still without Morant. Valanciunas is a game time decision. Him and Kyle Anderson. Obviously, Brandon Clark still out as well. I can't touch the Grizzlies right now. I think they're a total fate, and they had one game where they versus the Timberwolves played good. Last game versus the Pacers looked exactly like we thought with Cash with the Pacers here. The Bulls, they're off a little road trip over there. I'm not a fan of laying points with them, but I do think they're going to win this game. I just think that the Grizzlies are a much worse team without Ja Morant. He's their main thing. He's their most valuable player. They look totally different without him, and their offense doesn't look the same whatsoever as well without him. Any quick thoughts on what I said, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really touch the Bulls here either. They do have a distinct advantage down low, though, especially if Valanciunas misses. So that's something I think I'm going to be keyed in on if I do make a play on this game.
You went out there,
just
Jordan.
because the Bulls are actually been pretty good down low and they do have some depth. So nothing really for me in this game, though. I think I'm probably going to end up staying away depending on when we get the Valanciunas news.
Right, I got you. What you thinking, Junior?
Yeah, I'll be super quick. 2 trash teams. Get this game out of my face, bro.
Exactly. Did you got Jordan? What you looking at anything on this Indiana and OKC game? It is a revenge spot for OKC. We know the Pacers are the much better squad, but they are on the road here. And the OKC got smacked 111-85 the last game. That was in Indiana. I know a lot of people was like OKC in this spot. Now they're at the house. Did you have a play on this game, Jordan?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it small, I think, but I'm gonna do the Pacers on the money line, and this one got a -105, and I'm debating on whether or not I should put more down on them, but I think I'm probably just gonna stay small with this one, just because they are on the road, and they're one of those teams that play a lot better at Bankers Life Fieldhouse than they do on the road. That being said, it's still a much better team than OKC, much deeper and probably better defensively as well, with all their parts now actually healthy. So I think their year-long numbers, I think both offensively and defensively, if you look at their last 5 compared to their whole season, things have been trending in the right direction, both offensively and defensively. These teams, I think they're going to be too much for OKC through 4 quarters. They just have too many shot makers right now and too much on defense. They're one of the better, I think, 2-way teams in the league right now. So I'll do a small one on the Indiana money line. Probably won't get into anything else on this game though.
Exactly, and I was looking towards the under in this game, and I know he lost a lot of value. The Pacers have been picking up the pace a little bit late, but OKC plays really good defense, man. Their offense sometimes can sputter, can go through droughts, but their defense is always going to be there. They do have a stout defense, and it is the reason why I stayed away from the Pacers in this spot. I was leaning towards the Pacers too, and I wanted to take them, man. I'm this close. I definitely leaned towards the Pacers here. I hadn't taken it. Revenge spot, OKC at the house where they do play better. I'm leaning towards OKC actually in the first half, and the Pacers to be able to get it done full game. They, like I said, they had a better offense when OKC goes through their spurts, but I just know that OKC is going to bring their defense intensity every single day, especially at the house. I'm very close to taking the under in this spot. It's Pacers and under to me. That's the only way I could play it. Any thoughts on this game, Junior?
Yeah, it's one of my official plays. I got the Pacers as a pick 'em. I'll just be really quick. I feel like on this show we were really early on seeing what was happening with the Pacers, that they were trending up. They had all those injuries, and I made fun of the Holiday brothers, but they've been playing really well, and now coming off the bench, you know, they're contributing. They're another one of those teams, that gets contributions from 1 through like 8, 1 through 9. Like they're getting a lot of guys contributing. They're playing really well. And I actually think, to be honest with you, when I look at these teams, I feel like the Pacers are a better version of the Thunder. So if I can get them at a pick 'em, I'm good with that. Because even though OKC probably going to be able to slow these guys down defensively. Indiana's been playing great defense lately, and I think Indiana's guards could really throw a monkey wrench in what Oklahoma City likes to do.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Like you say, both two really good defensive teams. One of them are much better offense. I don't like the fact that it's the revenge game, man, and at the house, and they got their ass clapped, boy, that last time in Indiana. I'm pretty sure they're gonna remember it. I remember a lot of people were liking OKC in that game. It opened at 3, and they got bet down to like 1.5, and then Pacers went out there and smacked them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in this spot. We know the Pacers are a much better squad. We'll be able to be interesting to see if they can do it on the road there. They almost pissed me off in the last game versus the Grizzlies, but they got us the cash, man. Only thing that matters. I don't have much on that Timberwolves and Dallas game. Crazy to say, the Timberwolves actually play better on the road. They're 7-2 on the road, which means they're 3-7 at the house. That's crazy. You see one of these cases where it's the team much better on the road. We got the Mavericks here coming on back to back. I don't have a play on this game. Did you take them again? You put them on a money line parlay or something, Junior?
Nah, I hit that money line parlay yesterday, but I just don't like Dallas in a back-to-back situation. And one of the things I like the least is what I saw with Kristaps Porzingis. Now, some people say, oh, because he played less than 20 minutes, that he might play in this back-to-back situation. But I look at it a different way. If he was playing the way that he's supposed to be playing, he would not have played 20 minutes. I think Rick Carlisle has just seen enough, and he's, obviously, Rick Carlisle is not going to bail on Kristaps Porzingis, right? Because if this team is going to go anywhere, it's going to be built around Luka with Kristaps as his Robin, so to speak. But there has to come a point where Kristaps Porzingis takes a step in the direction of the player that he's supposed to be. But again, I feel like when you're 7'3" and you take like 18 months off of basketball, you're not going to just come back and be all right. So what we're looking at is a situation where Luka's got to carry his team on back-to-back nights. I make fun of Luka for having a dad body a lot. I know he's slimmed down a lot this year compared to last year, but the point is, it's at what point is it too much? Because he just literally has to do everything for this team. I just don't like that spot with them on a back-to-back, as basically they're as close to a one-man team as we have. I know that their bench guys have been playing really well, contributing and all that. But just really go and look at their individual parts. Like right now, legitimately, their second best player, not in terms of talent, but in terms of performance, is like Tim Hardaway Jr. I'm off that.
Yeah, Tim Hardaway been balling for the ass too. That is one thing about the Mavs. They do have a deep squad and they get a lot out of their bench. It's a tough spot for me. I don't like that it's a back-to-back spot. I know the Mavs are going to slip up at some point with a Timberwolves team who's been underperforming, underachieving lately. You look at the way they play on the road, it's actually really great, man. It's crazy to say, but I'm leaning towards Timberwolves. I'm not making a play on this game. I'm not betting against my Mavs. They are hot. They are rolling right now, coming the first game home off a little road trip. Be interesting to see here. And Luka's just been unstoppable. Really, that's really the main thing. Any quick thoughts on this game, Jordan?
Yeah, I keep thinking about it more and more, and I don't think it's that crazy of an idea to think the Mavs can cover here, if not win outright. Or excuse me, I'm sorry. Let me back up here. I don't think it's that crazy to believe that the Wolves could cover here or win outright. They have some bad matchups for Dallas, namely that guy named Karl Anthony Towns who could drop 30 and 15 on you in any given night. I don't think Dallas has anybody that's big enough. They're not going to put Boban in the game, that's for sure. And even if they do, I think Cat could toast him too. Wiggins is going to be a tough matchup for them. And not only that, Robert Covington is a damn good defender, and he is going to be glued to Luka Doncic every minute he is in the ball game tonight. And I don't think that you can discount that either. So some really bad matchup issues, I think, for Dallas here. It's a stay-away spot for me, man. But if I had to make a play, I'll pull a J line. If I had a free play on this game, it'd be Minnesota money line and plus the points, too. That's for sure.
Exactly. I could definitely see it, man. It opened at 5.5. It's down to 4 now. We know all the public's going to be on the Mavericks here. It'll be interesting to see. Definitely a game that I'll be watching. Like I say, Timberwolves can be scrappy on the road. Let's get into this next game, man. The last one. I don't have nothing on the Sacramento and Portland game, but Bogdanovich questionable again with a hamstring. Y'all know me. If Bogdanovich's out, I'm going to be on the Blazers. Even though it's a back-to-back spot, they did get their ass blown by 20 last night. Don't like their bench whatsoever. I know Anthony Simmons isn't a bad player, but shit, boy, he was looking trash last night. But I don't know why he kept fucking shooting the ball. 1 for 5 from 3. He was looking bad, bro. He missed a fucking layup. He did something where he went up in the air, was finna shoot the ball, and then the player had him, so he just threw the ball down. I was like, bro, he needs to go to the fucking G League. My girl asked me what the G League was. He needs to be in it. The Gatorade League. He needs to go, bro. But let me talk about this Lakers and Utah Jazz game, man. I know the Lakers won last night. Anthony Davis came out and said that they weren't going to lose 2 in a row, and they came out and did that. I mean, when they said, obviously you got to take that into account. It's a third game in 4 nights though, and is this an altitude spot? I don't give a damn who a team is. If you playing the Jazz and Denver back to back away, it's never a bet on spot. I don't give a damn who you are. The Lakers, don't be a bit surprised to see Anthony Davis possibly ruled out, LeBron James, somebody. I think somebody gonna get ruled out late in this game, and I think the books know it. The Jazz are still sitting at -2.5. Even when Conley out, it went up to 3, and then it came back down to 2.5. Well, no, man, if Conley was in here, I'd be to max the Jazz out. I know they've been playing terrible lately, 1-4 on their road trip, but they're 8-1 at the house. I know this is the first game back at the house, but man, this is a total Jazz spot, man. It's a revenge loss as well, a revenge game as well from a 95-86 loss in Los Angeles. The under is 5-1 last 6 meetings in Utah. Under 4-1 in the last 5 meetings. Under 6-0 overall in the Lakers last 6 games. 4-0. The under is 4-0 in the last 4 road games. Man, I like the under in this spot, man. And I like the Jazz, even with Conley out. I know Moody, I got to step in, but this is a total Jazz spot. It's a bet against spot for the Lakers, and it's a bet on spot for the Jazz here, even without Conley. It's a head scratcher. A lot of people like, damn, the Lakers is a dog again. They covered last night in Denver. It's going to be even a tougher task tonight versus the Jazz. Jazz offense hadn't been there. We know they play really good defense. Both teams do. Jazz offense can sputter sometimes. I really like the under in this spot, and I hadn't bet the Jazz yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get there, man. I think and Anthony Davis had the flu, man. He had to take an IV at halftime yesterday. It's been a little sick bug going around the whole team. They said several players were feeling kind of sick last night for last night's game. They came out on top. It's gonna be a tough spot tonight, man. At altitude in Utah, a lot of people gonna be on the Lakers tonight. I think the Jazz are the right side, the sharp side in this game, and the under as well. What you got, Jordan?
I can't touch the Jazz here. I will agree with you, though, that there's a move on. They're in a really tough stretch. They're playing like 12 or 14 or 15 on the road or something like that. They got a tough stretch coming up here after this, where they play a couple more road games, go back to one home game, then leave for their East Coast, the Grammy road trip. So yeah, it's going to be, or actually I don't think it's the Grammy road trip, but it's a really long East Coast road trip. But yeah, this is a tough spot for the Lakers. I will concede that at all. But yeah, there's LeBron James has played all 21 games in this one. You know he's due a rest game. Sooner or later he will be given the night off. It may be a good chance it could happen tonight, maybe not. Considering Anthony Davis has been sick, I don't know. But it really just depends on how they look at it and how they planned it out. Because you know these games have been planned out as before the season even started. And with the way they've been playing, man, they kind of afford to give him a night off, to be honest.
One of these guys are going. I think I got a sneaky suspicion. I'm telling y'all, you're gonna see some crazy shit. It's a late night game too. Watch y'all see Anthony Davis or LeBron James rest in this game, man. If one of those are out, it's gonna be a big difference in this game, bro. This is the fucking regular season. Why are you gonna go balls to the wall in the regular season and risk getting an injury, man? And the playoffs is the only thing that matters. You're 18-3 so far in the season. We'll see tonight, man. Like I say, shit isn't written in stone, but the Jazz play a whole lot different. I know they've been looking ass. That's on the road, man. They play a whole lot different at the house, and they got a home factor that's one not to be fucked with that altitude. Back-to-back for this the older Lakers team with some players sick, man. Look, y'all see, I know everybody and their mama going to be on Lakers tonight. All right, bro, go ahead, man. It won't be me. It's just, even if you don't like the Jazz tonight, I'm just trying to help y'all out, man. The Lakers are not on a bet on spot tonight, man. It's the only thing I got to say. What you liking, Junior?
Yeah, I'll be quick because I know we're going over the time here. Just to prove that you're 100% right in your take, we talked about this spot on Saturday. It's Wednesday right now because we could see that the Lakers are going to play back-to-back in in Denver and Utah. And if you're just being logical, look at the way that Utah is playing right now and look at the way the Lakers are playing. What would be the reason that Utah is a favorite other than the altitude factor? There is no other reason, literally. So this looks like Vegas about to cash in large tonight because you know that people are going to be on Utah. I see 58% of the money's on the Lakers right now. That number is going to go up, and Vegas is going to cash in large because this is not a bet-on spot for the Lakers in any way, shape, or form. And the line is telling you that literally.
Exactly. Yep. We some sharp guys on this show, and if somebody is announced out, we need the credit for on Jam with J Money, man. We do got to get out of here. We recapped all the plays, man. I'm liking the Jazz and the under. I haven't bet the Jazz yet, but I'm pretty sure I will, man. Even if AD and LeBron play, it's gonna be a tough spot for them. They might come out. You like the Lakers take them in first quarter, first half, or something. Second half, you're going to see some crazy shit. Like them score like 10 points in the quarter. I'm telling y'all, man. Give me the under in that spot. Give me the Jazz, man. I like the Celtics and the under as well. Leaning towards the Pacers and under, but I hadn't bet those. And I'm on the Phoenix and Orlando under. And I like the Nets, man. I like the Nets tonight. Let's get some cash tonight, man. I'm feeling it. I feel like a sweep type day, man. Let's get some cash. Y'all follow my guy Jordan and Junior. This Jamming with J Money. Y'all come back tomorrow, man. Let's cash plenty of tickets. And I'm telling y'all, stay away from the Lakers tonight, man. We gone. Y'all come back and holler at us tomorrow. You waiting on a leche?